Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another workshop by OPM Tools. It is I, Mustafa Shahid, and we have Cohen Powell with us as well. And today we are continuing on the topic that we introduced last week, which is about understanding the user journey that every business has, and every business has different processes, which needs their own pipelines and automations and dashboard to represent all that data. Now, last week we told you just the overview of what we were going to be going over, and today I wanted to take you into a deeper dive of what a user journey is. So I've shared my screen, and in front of me I've created this Google Sheet template, which what it does is it shows you all the different processes that a usual business has. So they have like an inbound leads pipeline, a sales closing pipeline, onboarding pipeline. Each pipeline over here, the pipeline can be renamed as the process. So inbound leads process, sales closing process, and so on and so forth. And what a business owner needs to do before they get started on the OPM tool system would be to fill it out. Now, what that means is on the left hand, on the rows size, the rows represent each different specific pipeline or the process, while the first column, the column number A, shows what are we asking you for, or what does it mean. So without further ado, let me get started on that. So let me show you this, the pipeline trigger. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is the pipeline trigger. So what triggers this pipeline? All right, what the entry point is, where do the leads are coming from, and who is responsible for this pipeline. So everywhere where the leads can be coming from, this is where you will be entering that information. So in that way, let's just fill it out. So the for the inbound leads, the trigger is going to be form fill. Let's say people go to your website, they fill out a form, they enter it. As soon as the form is submitted, a new lead has been created in the inbound leads. All right. So coming back over here, I'll enter here. Sorry, not over here. Over here. So this is how the pipeline would be triggered. All right. So the first step would be the form filled. Now we move into the second step. What is the second step? What is the lead source? So the people who landed on the form, where did they land up from on the form? Like what happened? Did they click on a Facebook ad? Did they click on an Instagram ad? Was it a result of an email marketing effort, or an SEO effort, or a PPC effort? What happened for them to land on the form itself in order to fill it out? Was it used as a Facebook leads form? Let's just go with that. It was a what? It was Facebook ads. So I'm going to, and please don't mind, I'm using multiple tabs. That's why I'm jumping here and there. But the screen I'm showing is the main screen that needs to be. So the lead source would be Facebook ads. Then we move on to the next question, which is the responsible owner, the role, or the team. What that means is who owns this, or which team will be owning this, or is it a particular member on your team, or is it an entire team of people that needs to be owning this. It can also be an email address that this is the email address where all the responses would go. And if I go back, yep. So let's just say that for this one, it would be the SDR team, or you can call it team A. All right, whoever you want to name it. The more you enter, the more information you provide, the more detailed it will become. And why do we want this from you? We want this from you so that we understand exactly what you want from the system, so that we can create each pipeline separately, and we can have the pipeline being automated as to the best of its capabilities. All right, using automations and workflows to connect each stage. Then we have the third thing, which is the steps. So not the third, the fourth thing, the full step-by-step journey. What that means is what happens in these. So when we are talking about the inbound leads, these are the usual steps. So we have the new lead, they go into contacted, then they go into booked, showed, proposal sent, paid, and then I can even add more, as in won and lost. All right, and I'll click over here. That's happen would be wrap. All right, so it shows that. Then we have the actions taken at each step. All right, so what are the actions which will be taken on each step? Usually it's call, SMS, and email. That's what the usual actions are. You can even add direct mail in this. What else? Sending out a voicemail. Yeah, that might work. So I'm just going to add this over here. Direct voicemail. And if they have the social medias connected, you can maybe even send them out an Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn message as well. But for now, I'm just going to keep this at these four ones because those are the mostly used ones. Then we move into the customer actions. What does the customer has to do in this particular pipeline? So what can they do basically? So what they can do is they can reply to the email or reply to the SMS or respond on the call, and the ultimate action would be that they book a meeting. That would be the first step in order to continue. Otherwise, after that, it would be sign in the document, paying the invoice, but those are the actions that they need to do. Then we have, what's the next step? The communication channels used. Again, so the communication channels would be calls, SMS, emails for now. Then we have the key decision points and objections. So where do we have that? No, we don't want the key over here. What we do need over here would be, yep, this one. So we're going to rename this particular question as the follow-up timing. So what should the normal follow-up routine should be for this particular stage? Over here, we are going to add 24 hours. Sorry. Every 24 hours. So every 24 hours, they should receive an email, an SMS, a call probably, or at least a pre-recorded voicemail to be dropped in their answering machines. Then the next question that we have is, what would be the conversion event be? The conversion event over here would be what needs to be done in order for this lead in this particular pipeline to be considered as one that we have achieved our result. And obviously this would be invoice paid or amount paid, payment done. Then the next step that we have would be, what is the next step from the after the payment has been done? So then we have the post sale. What happens in the post sale? If the sale has been done, what's the next step? Then we have the onboarding calls. So if someone has purchased your product, purchased your service, the next step is the onboarding call. What should happen? Then we have, if they lost, or if you lost these people, they do not respond, or they have responded negatively, whatever that may be, that's what you're going to enter over here. And that could be either they did not respond, or they had an issue with the price, things like that. Price issues, which is the cost issues, bad reviews, they don't know much about you guys, and other sales objection questions, whatever you may have heard in your business. Then you have the SLA. The SLA would mean is the speed to lead. All right. So how quickly do you want these people or these conversations which are being initiated in this particular pipeline to be responded in? And the best practice would be to be contacted within 5 minutes. So let's say contact within 5 minutes. That would be that. And then you have this particular, and I can just delete this one from here, which you have the edge cases. Now, can the leads skip steps, or can deals go backwards? Any exceptions or VIP handling? So what can those be? So what we have over here would be someone books instantly on the first call. They don't need any follow-up. They're ready to go forward. They're willing to pay, move ahead. Now, if we think about something else, let's think about the sales closing. If someone is in the sales closing pipeline, and what the edge case in that would be that they don't even want the demo. They just want to complete the sale and move forward. So edge cases are just something that what's the best case scenario. So let's start with the second pipeline, which is the sales closing pipeline. So the pipeline trigger is going to be, sorry, not the name. The pipeline trigger is going to be appointment booked. Control C, Control V. All right. So anytime appointment has been completed, they will be entered into the sales closing pipeline. That's how they enter in this particular pipeline. Then the next step we have is the lead source. So where are these leads coming from? These are coming from See, I forget every time. It's in internal handoff. So the people who are making the appointments in the inbound leads pipeline, it's coming from the internal team members or from the team A in this case. Then they go into the next team, and who owns this particular pipeline? It would be the sales representatives. So over here we enter this sales representatives. Then we move into the steps. So what are the different steps in this particular pipeline? The qualified, demo done, proposal sent, negotiation, invoice sent, invoice paid, one, and so on and so forth. If you want to add more light follow-ups, send out voicemail, reach out once, reach out twice, reach out thrice, so on and so forth, or notify XYZ, and whatever that process may be. And yeah, you'll have to think about it a lot, because this is the entirety of your business being represented by a Google Sheet, basically. Then what are the actions taken at each step, or in these steps? It would be demo call and proposal. So in this particular pipeline, the main focus is the demo call to be booked and the proposal to be sent forward. Then we move into the customer actions. What does the customer need to do in order to show that they are ready to move forward? They need to attend the demo. That's it. So the demo can be done in webinar, in a pre-recorded webinar that they just go get access to the pre-recorded webinar. They click on play and they understand what the business will do for them, or they can join a live webinar which is happening next tomorrow, day after tomorrow, on the weekends, whenever that may be, or they can just book a call with the demo team to show them a custom demo for them. Either way, whatever is working for you. Then the next thing is the follow-up timing. When should the sales team should be following up with these leads? It would be every 48 hours. And over here, this seems a little repetitive, so I'm just going to delete this. All right. Then we have the conversion event. What needs to be done in order to make sure that this particular lead in this particular pipeline can be considered as one, or the objective has been achieved? It would be the contract has been signed. Yes, invoice being paid. Either way, whatever we want. Then post sale. What happens after someone has been won? They would be handed off to onboarding. The people who will be responsible for delivering or for setting these people up into their account. So this is your POC, the point of contact. This is what you can expect, and so on and so forth. Then we have the fulfillment, and then we have the reactivation, and then we can add another pipeline that I just thought of, is the reviews / testimonials. Yeah, why not? And I'm just going to increase the size so it looks a little better. Yeah, perfect. All right. Then we are going into lost reasons. Why should someone not be interested, or why would someone be lost? Because they're not interested. Simple as that. Or you can have other things as well. Then we have the speed to lead. How much time do you want to give your salespeople in order to reach out or respond to the people within this pipeline? Let's just give them 24 hours, because they are actually focused on closing. They wouldn't have so much time to respond to everyone within 5 minutes. So 24 hours is a good time window that they would have. Then we move into the last stage, which is the edge cases. So what should happen, or what is the best case scenario that might happen? That someone just skips a demo entirely. So this is how you would be mapping your user journey. You'd be entering different pipelines, and then you'll be adding this information over here in order for us to understand what needs to be done. Once that has been done, what we would do is share this tab. We would go into the opportunity section, go to the pipelines in your personal sub account, and we are going to start with creating your new pipeline. So if I go back to here and see the pipeline, we have the inbound leads pipeline. We copy, we paste, and then from this one, we start adding the stages that we just mentioned over here. So these stages would be started to be added. The new lead, contacted, booked, showed, proposal sent, paid, won, lost. Now you can ask the question, hey, Mustafa, why are we saying proposal sent and paid when it's in something else. And then, yeah, it can be in something else as well. The inbound leads pipeline's primary focus could be booking an appointment. Then they move into the sales closing pipeline, whose primary objective would be getting the invoice paid. Then the onboarding pipeline's primary objective would be that they set up their account. Fulfillment pipeline's primary objective could be that they send you the email that all the work that was on the initial checklist has been completed. Then we have the reactivation pipeline for the people who used to work with you, but they're not your clients anymore. Their um, objective could be the same as the inbound leads pipeline, booking an appointment. And reviews and testimonials primary objective could be to leave in a review, and so on and so forth. So you can have the similar stages in multiple pipelines, or you can have different um, objectives and different stages for each pipeline individually as well. So we copy it from here, we go back to this, share this tab, and I'm just going to add it over here right now because it's easy for me to copy. So we have new lead, contacted, then we just need booked, copy, booked, showed, proposal send, add a stage, copy. Yeah, and you get the gist what I'm doing. So I'm adding all the stages over here. Once all the stages are done, I just click on create. Now, if I just wanted to create the pipeline, why did I make you do this entire thing or fill it out completely? The reason is creating the pipeline is not the only thing that we do. After we create the pipeline, we are going to use automations to connect everything. So connecting each stage of the individual pipelines and connecting each pipeline with another pipeline as well. So if this happens in pipeline A, the lead is then sent to pipeline B or pipeline C, and so on and so forth. So when they're won, mark them won. When they've lost, mark them lost. Send out an email, an SMS, or a direct voicemail. Appointment reminders, appointment follow-ups, rescheduling or cancellations, and so on and so forth. And the SLAs would come really handy when it comes to notifying the managers or the business owners, hey, your team is not performing properly since this lead is over its time limit and they needed to be responded 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, so on and so forth, and different things like that. And we would take a deeper dive into building the workflows for these, especially for the first two pipelines, in the next meeting. Because if I start talking about it, I think a couple of hours would not be enough for me to building out all the pipelines and all the stages and all the automations. But I just realized that I've been talking nonstop for the past, well, at least 10 minutes. So I just wanted to make sure that Cohen, was I easy to understand? Or do you think that this might have just gone over everyone's head?
No, I feel like that was a very good summary of what to expect whenever you're trying to think about the user journey, as well as how to better articulate what you want your pipeline to be, so that it's easier to understand for your team uh, to understand, so that they know what the user is going to be going through as well.
Absolutely. On that note, yep, this is where we would end today's meeting regarding understanding that this is the type of flowcharts that you can create. It's not exactly a flowchart, more like a table, but either you go with a flowchart or a table, anything that you can visually show us what are all the processes which happen with your business that you want to accomplish using this system, all the questions that you need to answer for each different pipeline. So we understand exactly what you want, what metrics are important for you, who is responsible for what, and what the entire process would be in multiple different pipelines in multiple different stages. Yeah, that was a lot. So that is what we had for today. And for next week, we'll be going over these two pipelines and creating the automations and showing you how we can create automations to connect different pipeline stages so that everything that we did is managed automatically, or at least most of the stuff is managed automatically. And for the things which can't be managed automatically would be done manually. And then in the week after that, we would show you how to create a dashboard to represent the data of the conversion rates of each process or each pipeline or each stage and what's happening within the system. So I hope that has been informative. Cohen, would you be able to show them how to reach out to us in order in terms of if they need support or the knowledge base?
As always, we have the three forms of communication, or the two forms of communication, and one knowledge base. So first off, we have the submit request. This is just in case you're coming across an issue whenever you're using OPM tools. You submit your screen recording or image regarding the issue that you're coming across, and then you fill out all the fields accordingly and submit your submit request form. And then once we review it, we're going to be able to look into the issue and let you know what we can do and update you accordingly. And then next, if you want to have a meeting with us, just use the support meeting tab. The support meeting tab lets you look at our calendar, select a date and time, and you are able to fill in all the fields. You can even put in a message on what you want the meeting to be about and what to expect, and we are more than happy to help you out regarding that. And if you're wanting to learn more about OPM tools, we have the knowledge base. The knowledge base has a wide array of information regarding OPM tools. So if you want more information, like we just went over today, regarding the opportunity board and mapping out the user journey, this is where you want to go. It has plenty of useful articles. A lot of them I still use even today. But yeah, I hope that this was a very informational workshop for all of you, and we can't wait to see you next week.